Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna play the game of flexboxfroggy from flexboxfroggy.com. I'm going to leave the link for the game and also my solutions in the description box below. And this is going to be the first part, so just stay tuned for the second part also. Let's start the game. Welcome to flexboxfroggy, a game where you play Froggy and friends by writing CSS code. Guide this frog to the lily pad on the right by using the justify content property, which aligns items horizontally and accepts the following values. So I guess I'm going to use the justify content. Alright. I have flex start, flex end, center, space between and space around. I guess this is quite obvious. So here it says, for example, justify content flex end will move the frog to the right. Alright, let's do this. Flex ends. Nice. Great, let's go to the second level. Oops. Second level. Use justify content again to help these frogs get to their lily pads. Remember that this CSS property aligns items horizontally and accepts the following values. The values are the same as before. Okay, and this time I'm going to use, I guess, center. Oops, center. Nice. Level 3. Help all these frogs find their lily pads just by using justify content. This time the lily pads have lots of space all around them. So it's space around. I guess this is quite obvious as it says space all around them. Great, so let's go to the fourth level. Now the lily pads on the edges have drifted to the shore, increasing the space between them. Use justify content once again. So maybe space between. Oh, come on. Between, yes. And let's go to level 5. Now use align items to help the frogs get to the bottom of the pond. This CSS property aligns items vertically and accepts the following values: flex start, end, center, baseline, and stretch. Align items. Flex end. Yes, that's correct. Let me just copy paste this. And now let's go to level 6. Lead the frog to the center of the pond using a combination of justify content and align items. I'm going to start with align items, and I'm going to use maybe center, I guess. And as for the justify content, I'm going to use center again. I think it's going to be correct, and yes, it is. Great, so level 7 now. The frogs needs to cross the pond again, this time for some lily pads with plenty of space around them. Use a combination of justify content and align items. Okay, so as for justify content, I'm going to use the space around. And as for the align items, okay, flex ends, I guess. Let me check this. Yes, this is also correct. The frogs need to get in the same order as their lily pads using flex direction. The CSS property defines the direction items are placed in the container and accepts the following values: row, row reverse, column, and column reverse. So once again, I'm going to use the flex direction. And and I'm going to use a row reverse. Yes, that's it. Level 9. Help the frogs find their column of lily pads using flex direction. So I guess I'm going to use flex direction and then column. Great. Help the frogs go to their lily pads. This time use flex direction and justify content to get them there. Okay, I'm going to start with flex direction and row reverse. Yes, and then also I'm going to use justify content. Let me copy and paste that. Okay. Justify content. Okay, maybe it's flex and. Let me try that. Oh yes, it worked great. Level 11. Help the frogs find their lily pads again using flex direction and justify content. Notice that when the flex direction is a column, justify content changes to the vertical and align items horizontal. Okay, cool. As you see, I'm quite bored to type the properties again. So, as for flex direction, I'm going to have a column. And then as for justify content, I'm going to have a flex end. Oh yes. And now let's go to level 12. Help the frogs find their lily pads. Alright. This time for flex direction, I'm going to have column reverse, I guess. And then as for justify content, I'm going to have I guess space between. Let me try that. Space between. Oh yes. And now level 13. Help the frogs find their lily pads, flex direction, justify content, and align items. Okay. Okay. Flex direction. And line items, and this time I'm going to have row reverse. And then for justify content, center, and maybe flex end. Okay guys, I think that I'm going to continue in the next part with my other solutions from level 14 to 24, and thanks once again for watching, and I hope you have a great